Good morning. I'm going to talk to you very briefly about ambitions. Ambitions. I forgot what it was called for a quick second. Got to be honest and let you know, I literally did not pay attention to this episode. I literally did not. It was actually, we started watching it last night, or night before last. I got a really bad headache, and so we paused it, and my mama was sleepy. And so we paused it and we came back and watched it last night. The rest, the other half of the episode. I don't know what happened on that second half of the episode. I really don't. I don't have my notes here with me because they're on this phone and I don't feel like pulling them up. So this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what I remember and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm still so disappointed with this week's episode of Pose. I don't know what to do. So I'm sorry that this video has to suffer, but it just simply is what it is. The episode opened with Amara, no Negra, sleeping peacefully. She's sleeping peacefully. But what we don't know is that she's sleeping because she's dreaming. And she's giving you a sex scene with Damian Collins. And if I'm being honest, and I find myself not prudish, but I just really don't have to see sex all the time. If I'm being honest, the sex scenes in this show don't drive the show. They don't drive any points home. They don't give us anything. They don't give us anything but just, okay, look, sex. Hey, girl. Anyway, she's having sex with Damian Collins, and we see her wake up, and I'm still trying to figure out, I thought this was going to, give us some insight on how Titus knew that she had told Damian Collins that she loved his hands on her body. Because y'all remember Titus heard her say that. I want to know how and when and where. Can we get into that? I'm interested. Amara wakes up and sees that the phone is on the night table and it's lit up. And she picks it up and she flips it over and it's a text message from SC. And my mama said, South Carolina? I said, no, sweetie. Stephanie Carlisle. It should have been SCL, which is Stephanie Carlisle Lancaster. But it was just Stephanie Carlisle. And for some reason, she gets up, because Titus is not in the bed next to her. She gets up and she's giving Titus. And don't nobody answer. She gets on down to the living room and she gives a and sees Titus and Stephanie Carlisle Lancaster having sexual relations on the floor. And I said, well, it's another dream because, girl, there's absolutely no way that they wouldn't have heard you saying, Titus, hey, Titus, and scrambled up off each other. If they were having sex in the house, with you in the house, which also probably wouldn't have happened. So she wakes up again. It was an inception dream. It was a dream within a dream. And now she, she doesn't wake up, but Titus wakes her up because in the dream, she's telling Stephanie to get off her man. And in real life, she's saying, get off, get off, get off. And Titus is like, girl, wake up. All this talking and carrying on, it's on my nerves. It's on my nerves. I'm trying to sleep. He don't say that, but that's what I would have been saying. I'm going to get Titus out the way because I don't have no notes and I'm just going off of what I can remember. Mr. White Man, Purefoy, asks him to bribe a judge. He says, I'm not going to bribe a judge. I'm going to get the judge to do what we want. Because they want this judge to assign another judge to one of their cases. I was half paying attention. Y'all know I don't care nothing about these white people and their foolishness. Or Rondell. But he says, I'm not going to bribe the judge. And then he goes on down to the judge. And the judge, he pleads his case to the judge. And the judge is like, oh, okay, cool. You did that the right way. You're honorable. I was thinking, can you bribe me? Basically is what he said. And, it swoops on to the next scene. We don't see if Titus bribes him or not. But it swoops back later. And later we find out that Titus did not bribe this man. He did, he declined. And Mr. Purefoy, is it Purefoy or is it Purfoy? I don't know. Mr. Purfoy, gives, oh, son, congratulations, you passed the test. I'm so glad to hear it. And I'm like, did he act, would you have said that either way? If he did bribe the man, would you have said good job? And if he didn't, you would have said good job? Because that's what it felt like to me. that was basically all we saw of Titus, I think, this episode. If not, girl, I'm forgetting something. Let me get over on the lesbians. The lesbians are getting a massage. And then the white lesbian offers to massage the black lesbian a little lower. A little lower. That was all we saw of the lesbians. Moving along, Rondell, she done made some, egg scramble for old Amara No Negra. And, they becoming friends. It's a good time. Stephanie Carlisle, Lancaster, comes in and is giving, hey, y'all, how's it going? Good to see you. And everybody's like, oof, not good to see you. We don't like you. She's coming to talk to Senior, and Senior's like, oh, sorry you came all this way, but I'm not going to sell the restaurant. I'm like, Senior, you could have called her and told her that. Text her. Rondell would have been happy to do it. You should have told Rondell to tell Stephanie Carlisle, Lancaster, that you're not going to sell the restaurant. You don't have her waste her gas driving across town. Honey, it was a mess. It was a mess. In the meantime, in between time, you see Stephanie meet up with Damian Collins at some point and tell Damian Collins that, you going to jail unless you do what I say. And what she says is to ruin Amara's life. It just really felt like, I feel like Amara and Damian Collins are going to end up teaming up to try to take Stephanie down, but it's going to backfire because Titus is going to see Amara with Damian Collins and be like, are you with this nigga again? And she's going to be like, Titus, no, it's not what you think. And Damian's going to be like, it's not what you think, bruh. And then, punch. You know how niggas do. I feel like it's really going to do all of that. What else happened in this episode? Mayor Little Richard Lancaster has a conversation with Stylist Heifer. And Stylist Heifer feels disrespected. And it's like, but you disrespected yourself by dating a married man. At some point, she sends him a picture via text message of him in her bed. And it was kind of like a threatening thing. And he asks her later, when did you take that picture? And she's like, the night of the banquet, or the night of the, that night your wife threatened to shoot you in your head. That night. She ain't say that, but I'm saying that. And he's real stupid to think she doesn't have, if we take what they are both saying into consideration, and that being that they share a child. Now that baby ain't got no black in him nowhere. But if we gonna watch the TV show and, assume that child belongs to him, then she has all the evidence she needs right there, because the baby is younger than the marriage. His marriage to Stephanie Carlisle, Lancaster. So, the baby is younger than the marriage. So the photographs really don't need, she got your baby. Like, he was mad about some pictures, but it's like, dog, sir, mister, your baby. Mister, excuse me, sir, your baby. I just don't care. I don't care. Bella was on my nerves. Bella is Stylist Heifer. She was on my nerves. This whole, her entire existence outside of episode 1. Episode 1, we didn't get all of this from her. But every episode since then has been, you're gonna love me. I can't sing. My throat hurt. It was very nasally. Did y'all hear that? I didn't care for it. But yeah, it's either you gonna love me, and now it's either you gonna love me or I'm gonna send out these pictures. I don't know. And I could not possibly care less. I couldn't. So long story short, girl, Stylist Heifer comes home. She opens up the front door. Now, if I was Little Richard Lancaster, I'd have done one further, but I didn't, he didn't. I'd have had the locks changed. I would have just had the locks changed, but she opens up the house and ain't nothing in there. Ain't no furniture, ain't no refrigerator, ain't no blender, honey, nothing. No toilet paper. It was just empty up in there. She goes to her son's room. The son's room is just, everything's in there. And it's like, how you gonna explain to your son, well, we don't have a couch and a TV no more, but you still got your room. Like, me as a toddler, because the baby looked like he about 3 or 4. I'd be like, excuse me, mommy, where are your books? Where's your TV? Where's your bed? Where's the bathtub? What's going on? What's tea? Little me would have had questions. I don't know how inquisitive little Joaquin is. But I would have been like, why I got stuff, but you don't got stuff? I don't understand. But anyway, we see Stylist Heifer pop up at this white lady house. I didn't catch who she was. I didn't care who she was. Her hair was amazing though. She had like this swoop over this way, but they were like waves. It was like between a curl and a wave. It was a quave. She had these quaves. Girl, she was wearing that. It was blonde. Worked really well with her complexion. It might have been natural. Might have been my grandmother says natural as natural. Might have been natural. She knows how to say natural, by the way. All the things that I say my grandmother says and they're like mispronounced words, she knows how to actually say it. Like when I say, she says it's the thought instead of it's the thought. She knows how to say thought. Anyway, because I don't want y'all to think, oh, y'all down in the South, your grandmama don't know. No, my grandmother can pronounce words. She can. Except for St. Louis. She calls it St. Louis. Yes, and we lived in St. Louis. Girl, where's St. Louis? St. Louis. She be trying to be all extra. Anyway, y'all don't care. I just thought about poetry. Hey, girl, my grandma thinks you used to live in St. Louis. But she says it with such a you know, she's fancy with, yes, St. Louis. Like, she put some breathiness on it. It makes it sexy. St. Louis. I'd be like, girl, cut it out. Anyway, where was that girl? I don't know. Oh, the white lady with the quaves, Sonny. She in there. Stylist Heifer pops in and is like, hey, I made this dress for, you know, the mayor's wife, but I think it would look better on you. Feel the material. Feel. And white lady with the quaves is like, it's illegal. You know, because she's a government, what's the word? You can do it. You can remember this word. Employee. Woo. It was just gone. She's an employee for the government. She worked for them. So obviously she can't take gifts, bribes, blah, blah, blah. And she tells the woman, girl, it's illegal. I can't accept this. And Stylist Heifer's like, oh, it's fine. I know you were looking for a dress for the thing and blah, blah, blah. Take it, take. And she just leaves this dress in this box here. And I'm like, maybe she got storage or something, because she don't have an actual boutique. And all her stuff was gone at home. Where does dress go? Did she go by Stephanie Carlisle Lancaster's and steal the dress bike? Like, what is going on? Where you get the dress from? Anyway, I'm not going to tell you what was happening in that last scene, because, you know, it's a mystery for those of you that don't watch the show. But I'm going to pop back on it. I'm going to pop back and let you know what that last scene was. Because, girl, the white lady with the quaves gave me a little bit of fever. She gave me extra, but I'll tell you in a minute. I think the thing I want to tell you before I get to this last part is Rondell Lancaster is out here having a protest against the Peters family, or the Peters construction, whatever. Now, I, for the longest time, thought the Peters and the P4s were the same family. I guess they not. I don't know. I don't care. But Rondell is out there giving, you know, no justice, no peace, or take back the bricks, the stacks, the jacks, the dominoes. I don't know. Take them back, though. Take back the neighborhood. And the white man has called the police, and the police lady is a black lady, and Rondell is like, I know you. You grew up down here. And the police lady is like, I sure did, yes. But y'all still gotta stop this this protest. And she gets in Mr. Peters' face. I guess that was Mr. Peters, girl. I don't know. He was a white man. I just assumed. Because they were on his property. And he tells the black police lady, arrest this trash. And she's, you know, grabbing Rondell, putting her hands behind her back, finna put cuffs on her. And one of the people in the protest is like, you gonna arrest the mayor's sister? And the police officer is like, oop. And I oop. And I oop. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were related to Mayor Lancaster. I had no idea. And I'm like, so if she is or if she ain't breaking the law? Because then the black officer lady is giving, well, as long as they stay on the sidewalk, you know, they're not breaking any laws. I'm like, then what you was arresting her for? What you was arresting her for? It didn't make no sense. Anyway, so she free, you know, to move about the cabin. She ain't going to jail. Did I miss anything else? There was no Deja this week. I talked about Amara. I talked about Titus. I talked about Damian Collins, Stephanie Carlisle Lancaster. I talked about the lesbians. I think I've talked about just about everything. Everything that I care about. Everything that I care to remember. This last thing that I want to tell y'all about sis with the quaves. As soon as she closes the door from Stylist Heifer bringing her that dress. She walks on bike into a room. And I guess she had on a robe or some girl. I looked away and I looked back at the TV, and sis was in just some black lingerie. And I said, okay, you know, give it a little Fenty. Fenty X Savage. You know, it looked real cute with the quaves. You know, she was giving dominatrix, but like dominatrix that ain't gonna mess up her hair. You know? And next thing I know, I'm looking at Brian White's, for lack of better terms, and do excuse my French, ashy ass. I'm looking at this man's ass cheeks like, girl, when I woke up yesterday morning, afternoon, evening, actually, it was evening. It was 6 o'clock in the evening when I woke up, because, girl, I don't go to sleep. I ain't been to sleep. I ain't been to sleep yet. What time is it? 7:30? 7:30? It's 7:37. I ain't been to sleep yet. But when I woke up yesterday and saw the brand new day, thank God for letting me wake up, you know, went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, washed my face, all the things I do when I wake up. Hey, girls, good to see you, you know, hey, you know, to my family and all of that. When I woke up, I did not expect to see Brian White's butt, cheeks. And not just, I would have done better to see just his bare butt. But my good sis had on a thong, and to me, it felt like he was more naked than if I would have been looking at him be naked. Like, I've seen Brian White's butt before, I feel like, in movies and TV shows. You know, he's not ashamed of his little peach. You know? But it just felt like he was much more naked with this lingerie on. This man had on lingerie. He had on Fenty X Savage as well. He gets down, honey, on his hands and knees, and the white woman is cracking a whip. I said, wait a minute. Slavery is over. Slavery is over. Cut it out. Child, and the episode went off, and I'm like, what all is going on over here with Mayor Evan Lil Richard Lancaster? What is going on? My nigga got a side hoe over here, a baby mama over here, a wife back that way, a mistress with the quaves and the whip. I absolutely never, ever, could not possibly. Anyway, that was the episode, child. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. You tell me your favorite song down in the comments. Like, girl, just hit me up. You know, Holleration on Instagram, Rambling K on Instagram, Petty Pod on Instagram, and Petty in Particular Podcast on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. I'm all over. I'm global. I'm out here. Anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.